Alright, imagine this. You're digging through your pocket change, maybe fishing for a quarter to pay for your coffee, when suddenly you spot a 1984 penny. It looks normal, nothing fancy, until you remember hearing something about a rare 1984 no-mint mark Lincoln penny being worth $1 million. $1 million. For a penny. Now, before you start flipping over your couch cushions and raiding your old piggy banks, let's get real. Is this coin actually worth $1 million? Could you be walking around with a small fortune in your pocket right now? Well, grab your magnifying glass and let's dive into the truth about this elusive 1984 penny, what makes it so valuable, and most importantly, how you can spot one. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at pennies the same way again. So, where did this whole $1 million penny rumor come from? The 1984 Lincoln penny was minted in Philadelphia, which typically does not put a mint mark on its coins. That means every single penny from Philly that year has no mint mark. But not all of them are worth more than a cent, let alone $1 million. The real reason people go crazy for some 1984 pennies is because of a special error, the double die obverse. That's just a fancy way of saying the coin's design was struck twice, causing some noticeable doubling in Lincoln's face and lettering. Think of it like when you accidentally click print twice and end up with a blurry, overlapped page. Except in this case, that printing mistake could make your penny worth a life-changing amount of money. Now, let's break down what actually gives this coin its insane value. A 1984 no-mint mark penny with the double die error and rough shape might only be worth a few bucks. But if you find one in top-notch condition, graded as mint state 67 or higher, that's where the big money comes in. Collectors go nuts for flawless coins. No scratches, no wear, no signs that it's been rolling around in a junk drawer for decades. If you've got one of these beauties in pristine condition, that's when you start seeing those 5- and 6-figure price tags. Some rumors online claim that a perfect example of this coin could sell for up to $1 million at auction. Now, while no verified sale has reached that level yet, it's not impossible in the future as demand skyrockets. Alright, so how do you know if you've hit the jackpot? First, grab a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. You're looking for clear doubling on Lincoln's earlobe, his chin, and the words Liberty and I in God We Trust. If it looks like Honest Abe is growing a second earlobe, you might just have one of these rare pennies. A few years back, I was sorting through a huge pile of pennies because, hey, I'm a coin nerd and that's my idea of a good time. I came across a 1984 penny that looked kinda off. My heart skipped a beat. I squinted, held it up to the light, even did that thing where you tilt it back and forth like an old prospector searching for gold. Was it the rare double die penny? Was I about to be a millionaire? But that's why you always check carefully, because you never know when you might stumble across the real deal. If you find a circulated 1984 double die penny, meaning it's been used and has some wear, it might sell for $50 to a few $100. Still not bad for something most people ignore. But if you find one in excellent condition, graded MS67 or higher, you're looking at a value of $5,000 to $15,000. And if you somehow, miraculously, stumble upon a perfect, high-grade example with deep red luster, the sky's the limit. Some experts believe a future auction could push this coin into 6 or even 7 figures. Wouldn't it be wild if someone watching this video right now finds that $1 million penny? If that happens, you owe me a cup of coffee. Deal? Check your 1984 pennies, my friend. Get yourself a magnifying glass, start looking for that double die error, and don't ignore your pocket change. Because that little copper coin jingling around in your pocket could be your ticket to a massive payday. And if you love learning about rare coins, hidden treasures, and how to turn everyday pocket change into serious cash, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more coin collecting secrets coming your way, and trust me, you won't want to miss what's next. Alright, folks, let me ask you something. Have you ever picked up a penny off the ground and thought, it's just a penny? Well, what if I told you that one tiny little copper coin from 2006 could be worth over $1 million? Yeah, you heard that right. A single 2006 D. Lincoln penny has sold for a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. Imagine buying a coffee with loose change and accidentally handing over a small fortune. Brutal. Now, before you start frantically checking every penny in your couch cushions, let me walk you through exactly why this coin is so valuable and how you can spot one yourself. Because trust me, you do not want to let this one slip through your fingers. I actually learned this lesson the hard way. A few years back, I came across an old penny that looked kind of odd. I didn't think much of it, so I tossed it into a coin jar. A year later, I found out that the exact type of coin I had could be worth thousands. I scrambled to find it, but guess what? Gone. Probably used it to buy a pack of gum. Lesson learned. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you're going to know how to check your pennies before you accidentally spend a small fortune on vending machine snacks. Let's start with a little history lesson. Don't worry, I'll keep it interesting. The 2006 D. Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, as you can tell from that little D mint mark under the date. Now, normally, this penny isn't anything special. It's part of the standard Lincoln Memorial Cent series, which ran from 1959 to 2008. But here's where things get wild. A very small number of these 2006 D pennies were struck on experimental planchets, basically special coin blanks that weren't meant to be used. Some were struck on older copper alloy blanks, while others were mistakenly struck on foreign coin blanks. These errors make the coin extremely rare and valuable. Now, let's talk money, because that's why you're here. In 2023, one of these error pennies sold at auction for $1.1 million. Yes, you heard that right. A penny, worth over $1 million. Suddenly, that spare change in your car is looking a lot more interesting, huh? But don't go spending your paycheck buying up every 2006 D penny you see. Most of them are just regular 1-cent coins. The valuable ones have specific errors that make them unique. All right, let's get to the good stuff. How to actually identify one of these rare pennies. If the penny has a different weight than a normal 2006 D penny, which should be about 2.5 grams, you might have something special. Some of these valuable errors were struck off-center, meaning part of the design is missing or shifted. Look for doubling on the lettering or Lincoln's face. It's a telltale sign of a rare coin. If your 2006 D penny has an unusually smooth edge, it could be a sign of a minting error. You don't need fancy equipment to check your coins, but a jeweler's loupe, a small magnifying glass, and a gram scale will make your life a lot easier. Weigh the penny, inspect it under magnification, and compare it to known error examples online. If you think you've got a winner, don't go cashing it in at the bank. Instead, take it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC to get it authenticated. If it's legit, congratulations, you just hit the jackpot. Now, before you get too excited, let's be real. These million-dollar pennies aren't just floating around in every cashier's drawer. Only a handful are known to exist. But here's the thing. New discoveries happen all the time. People are constantly finding rare coins in the most unexpected places. Pocket change, old piggy banks, even rolls of pennies from the bank. And let's not forget, even if you don't find this specific penny, there are plenty of other rare coins out there worth big bucks. Check your pennies. Seriously, because that little copper coin sitting in your car cup holder could be worth a life-changing amount of money. And if you're anything like me, you don't want to be the guy who finds out after he's already spent it on a pack of gum. Now, if you love finding out about rare coins worth money, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. I've got tons of tips and strategies to help you find valuable coins hiding in plain sight. And before you go, drop a comment below. What's the most interesting or valuable coin you've ever found? Let's talk about it. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. Imagine this. You're sifting through your pocket change, and nestled between a couple of dimes and nickels, you spot a humble penny. But wait, this isn't just any penny. This little copper coin could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.2 million. Intrigued? Let's dive into the fascinating world of rare Lincoln pennies and uncover how that spare change might just change your life. Now, before you start tearing apart your couch cushions, let's set the record straight. While the idea of a 2019 Lincoln penny with a mint mark fetching $1.2 million sounds thrilling, there's no concrete evidence supporting such a claim. However, don't let that dampen your coin collecting spirit. There are indeed Lincoln pennies out there that have fetched astronomical prices due to their rarity and unique features. 1943 Copper Lincoln penny. During World War II, copper was reserved for the war effort, leading the U.S. Mint to produce pennies from steel. However, a few copper pennies from 1943 mistakenly entered circulation. One of these rare coins sold for over $1 million at auction. This penny features the initials of its designer, Victor David Brenner, and was minted in limited quantities in San Francisco. High-quality specimens have fetched prices exceeding $100,000. A minting error resulted in noticeable doubling of the date and lettering on this penny. Well-preserved examples have sold for over $50,000. Let me share a little story. A few years back, I inherited a modest coin collection from my grandfather. Among the coins was a 1969 Lincoln penny with a peculiar doubling effect on the inscriptions. Curiosity piqued, I had it appraised, only to discover it was a rare double die error, valued at over $35,000. That experience ignited my passion for coin collecting and taught me the value hidden in the most unexpected places. Familiarize yourself with key dates, mint marks, and common errors in coinage. Knowledge is your best tool in identifying valuable coins. Always check your pocket change and coin jars. You never know when a rare penny might appear. If you believe you found a rare coin, seek a professional appraisal to confirm its authenticity and value. While the tale of a 2019 Lincoln penny worth $1.2 million remains myth, the world of coin collecting is rich with stories of unexpected fortunes. So, next time you come across a penny, take a closer look. It might just be the treasure you've been searching for. If you enjoyed this dive into the world of valuable coins, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Join us as we continue to explore more tips on coins worth money and strategies to uncover hidden treasures in your everyday life. All right, folks, let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny? I mean, really looked at it. Not just tossed it in the nearest coin jar or let it disappear into the depths of your couch cushions. Because if you've got a 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny sitting somewhere, you might just be holding on to a whopping $1.3 million without even knowing it. Now, before you go diving headfirst into your loose change like a treasure hunter, stick with me. Today, we're talking about one of the most valuable pennies out there, the 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny. I'll break down why this tiny copper coin is causing such a frenzy, how you can spot one, and of course, what makes it worth a life-changing amount of money. And let me tell you, I have a personal story about how I almost let a rare coin slip right through my fingers, literally. But we'll get to that in a bit. So grab your pennies, maybe a magnifying glass, and let's find out if you've been sitting on $1 million jackpot this whole time. What exactly is this coin, and why is it special? The 1988 Lincoln penny was minted in large numbers, but the ones that were struck without a mint mark are a whole different story. Typically, pennies from Philadelphia don't have a mint mark, so you might be thinking, what's the big deal? But here's where things get interesting. Some 1988 pennies were accidentally struck with the wrong die, the one intended for 1989 pennies. This mistake led to a subtle but crucial difference in the design. If your 1988 penny has the 1989 style lettering on the reverse, you might be looking at a fortune. It's a rare minting error that collectors go absolutely nuts for. And when collectors go nuts, prices skyrocket. That's how we get to a market value of, wait for it, $1.3 million. How to spot a 1988 no mint mark penny worth big bucks now. You might be wondering, okay, how do I know if I have one of these bad boys? Good question. If it doesn't have a D or S under the date, you're off to a good start. This is where the real magic happens. You'll need a good magnifying glass or the patience of a saint to spot the difference. The key is in the designer's initials, FG for Frank Gasparo. The 1989 style initials have a slightly different positioning and appearance compared to the 1988 ones. If your penny has this rare design combo, you might just hit the jackpot. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds like a lot of work for a penny. But let me tell you, spending a few minutes checking your change is a small price to pay for a potential million-dollar payday. Speaking of checking your change, let me tell you about a time I almost made a huge mistake. A while back, I was at a gas station and got a handful of pennies as change. Like most people, I wasn't paying attention. I shoved them in my pocket and went about my day. Later that night, I was sorting through some coins for a video. Because, let's be real, this is what I do for fun, and I noticed a 1988 penny with no mint mark. My heart stopped. Could it be the one? I grabbed my magnifying glass, squinted at the initials, and then, bam, it was just a regular 1988 penny. Talk about an emotional roller coaster. I went from thinking I was rich to realizing I still had to take out the trash in about 5 seconds. But that near miss taught me something. Always check your change. Because someone, somewhere, is going to find one of these 1988 no mint mark pennies. And when they do, They'll be laughing all the way to the bank. So why is this penny worth $1.3 million? Simple, rarity, and demand. There are only a handful of these known to exist, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for them. When a rare coin hits the market, it becomes a bidding war, and that's how we get these jaw-dropping prices. Think of it like baseball cards or vintage cars. The rarer it is, the higher the price. And since new discoveries still happen from time to time, the possibility of finding one keeps collectors on their toes. So, what's the moral of today's story? Never underestimate a penny. It might look like small change, but in the world of coin collecting, it could be worth more than your house. If you've got a jar of pennies lying around, now's the time to start digging. Who knows? You could be holding on to one of the rarest coins in existence without even realizing it. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into hidden treasures, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I've got plenty more coin collecting tips, strategies, and stories to help you turn everyday change into serious cash. Hey there, fellow coin enthusiasts and curious minds alike. Imagine this. You're sifting through your pocket change, and suddenly, you stumble upon a penny that's worth a whopping $1.4 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, before you start planning that luxury vacation, let's dive into the world of the 2016 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny and uncover the truth behind its value, where we explore the fascinating stories behind everyday coins that could be hiding treasures right under your nose. Today, we're zooming in on the 2016 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny. There's been a lot of buzz about this coin, with some wild claims about its value. So, let's separate fact from fiction and maybe share a laugh or two along the way. First things first, let's get acquainted with our coin of the hour. The 2016 Lincoln penny features the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. That's the front side for those new to coin lingo, and a Union shield on the reverse. The D Mint mark signifies that it was minted in Denver, with a staggering mintage of over 4.4 billion coins. That's right, billion with a B. So, finding one in your pocket change isn't exactly like finding a needle in a haystack. It's more like finding hay in a haystack. Now, let's address the elephant, or should I say, the penny, in the room. Is your 2016 D penny worth $1.4 million? In short, no. Most 2016 D pennies found in circulation are worth their face value, 1 cent. However, if you have and that's a penny that hasn't been, it might fetch a bit more. According to coin trackers, an uncirculated 2016 D penny in mint state, MS, condition could be valued around $7.50. But here's where it gets interesting. The value of a coin can increase if it has certain errors or is in exceptional condition. For instance, a 2016 D penny graded MS 68RD, that's a near-perfect grade with full red luster, sold for $1,550 in 2018. US Coins Guide, while that's not $1.4 million, it's still a hefty return on a 1-cent investment. Error coins are like the celebrities of the coin world, rare, intriguing, and often fetching higher prices. Some of the notable errors for the 2016 D penny include: this occurs when the D mint mark is struck outside its usual position. In 2020, a 2016 D penny with this error, graded MS 60, sold for $415, caused by a crack in the die used to strike the coin, resulting in raised lines on the coin's surface. A 2016 D penny with a die crack error, graded MS 65, fetched $130 in 2019. This happens due to impurities in the metal, causing the surface to peel or appear flaky. A 2016 P penny with this error, graded MS 64, was sold for $100. Let me share a little story. A few years back, I was at a garage sale and bought a jar of old coins for a couple of bucks. Among them was a penny that looked a bit off. After some research, I discovered it was an error coin from the 1990s. I sold it for $50. Not exactly retirement money, but it did cover a nice dinner. The moral of the story? Always keep an eye out. You never know what treasures might be hiding in plain sight. While the idea of a 2016 D penny being worth $1.4 million is more myth than reality, certain pennies from that year can still be valuable, especially if they have unique errors or are in pristine condition. So, next time you're checking out at the grocery store, take a moment to glance at your change. Who knows? You might just find a penny that's worth more than you think. That if you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of coin collecting and want to uncover more hidden treasures in your pocket change, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Join our community of coin enthusiasts, and let's embark on this numismatic journey together. Happy hunting, and may your pockets be filled with valuable pennies. Hey there, fellow coin enthusiasts and curious minds. Imagine this. You're sifting through your pocket change, and suddenly you stumble upon a penny that's worth a whopping $1.5 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, today we're diving deep into the world of the 1987 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Is it really the golden ticket we've all been searching for, or just another humble cent? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for in your spare change. And hey, if you're as coin crazy as I am, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more treasure hunting tips. Let's start with the basics. The 1987 Lincoln penny was minted in 3 primary locations, produced pennies without a mint mark, totaling over 4.6 billion coins. These coins bear a D mint mark, with nearly 4.8 billion minted. These are the proof coins, showcasing an S mint mark, with about 4.2 million produced. Now, with numbers like these, it's clear that the 1987 penny isn't exactly a rare bird. In fact, most of these pennies jingling in our pockets are worth, well, a penny. But, as with any good story, there's always a twist. You might have heard whispers about a 1987 penny fetching $1.5 million at auction. Let's set the record straight. While there are pennies that have sold for jaw-dropping amounts, the 1987 no mint mark penny isn't typically among them. The astronomical prices are usually reserved for coins with significant historical errors or unique features. For instance, the 1943 D bronze cent sold for $840,000 due to its rare composition during World War II. If your 1987 penny has been around the block a few times, it's likely worth its face value, 1 cent. These shiny beauties can fetch around 30 cents. Not exactly retirement money, but hey, it's 30 times its face value. These special editions from the San Francisco Mint can be valued around $10. Now, here's where things get exciting. Certain errors can make a 1987 penny more valuable. This occurs when the coin's design elements appear doubled. While there aren't widely recognized double die errors for the 1987 penny, it's always worth a closer look. If the design isn't perfectly centered, collectors might pay a premium for such quirks. Some 1987 pennies miss their copper coating, exposing the zinc core. These can be worth more than face value. Let me share a little story. A few years back, I was helping my grandmother clean out her attic. Amidst the dusty boxes, we found an old jar filled with pennies. As a budding numismatist, my heart raced. We spent hours sifting through them, hoping to find a rare gem. While we didn't uncover a $1 million coin, we did find a 1987 penny in pristine condition. It wasn't worth a fortune, but the experience of connecting with my grandmother over those coins? Priceless. Plus, it sparked my passion for coin collecting. While the 1987 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny isn't your ticket to instant millionaire status, it serves as a delightful reminder of the stories our coins can tell. Each penny holds a piece of history, and who knows? With a keen eye and a bit of luck, you might just find a treasure in your pocket change. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of pennies and want to uncover more coin collecting secrets, smash that subscribe button and join our community of enthusiasts. Share your own coin discoveries in the comments below, and let's keep this treasure hunt alive together. Alright, coin lovers, let me ask you something. What if I told you there's a tiny little penny out there, a coin you've probably held in your hands at some point, that could be worth a staggering $1.6 million? Yep, that's right. A single 1960 D Lincoln penny has sold for over $1 million. That's a $1 million mistake hiding in plain sight. Now, before you start flipping over every penny in your couch cushions, stick with me. We're about to break down what makes this coin so special, how to spot one, and most importantly, how to avoid accidentally spinning one on a pack of gum. And trust me, that last part hits close to home because I may have spun a rare penny once, but we'll get to that later. So grab your magnifying glass, check your pockets, and let's dive into the world of $1 million pennies. Okay, so what makes this little copper coin worth more than a luxury car, a house, or a lifetime supply of cheeseburgers? The answer lies in a tiny mistake, the kind of error that makes collectors lose their minds. The 1960 D penny comes in 2 main varieties, the small date and the large date. The small date version is the one that's sending collectors into a frenzy. But here's where it gets even more interesting. So 1960, D pennies were accidentally struck with both a small date and a large date on the same coin. This is called a double die obverse, and it's an extremely rare minting error. Think of it like ordering a burger and getting two patties stacked on top of each other by mistake. Only instead of a free extra patty, you've got a coin that could pay for 100,000 burgers. So, how do you know if you've got one of these valuable error coins? The numbers in the date, especially the 6 and the 0, should look doubled or overlapped. It's almost like they're wearing a blurry pair of glasses, strong doubling on liberty, and in God we check these letters for signs of doubling as well. The more obvious the error, the more valuable the coin. The Denver Mint Mark D might also show signs of doubling. Grab a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe and take a close look. Now, if you find a regular 1960 D small date penny, it's still worth something, just not $1 million. Depending on its condition, it could be worth anywhere from $20 to several $100. But if you've got a double die version in top condition, congratulations. You've just hit the jackpot. Now, let me tell you about the time I thought I had struck it rich. A few years back, I found what I was sure was a rare penny in my pocket change. I was so excited, I ran straight to my local coin shop and slammed it down on the counter like I was cashing in a lottery ticket. The guy behind the counter picked it up, squinted at it, and then gave me a look I can only describe as mildly amused disappointment. Turns out, I had misread the date. My rare penny was just a regular old Lincoln cent worth exactly 1 cent. I left that shop feeling like a kid who thought they found a gold nugget, only to realize it was a piece of chewed-up gum. Do your research, double-check your dates, and don't let excitement get ahead of the facts. All right, back to the million-dollar question, literally. How much is this rare 1960 D penny worth today? Well, in 2021, a top-condition 1960 D small date double die penny sold for an eye-watering $1.6 million at auction. Now, most of them won't fetch that much, but even a lower grade one could still bring in thousands of dollars. Coins in the best shape, mint state, or proof are worth the most. A coin graded by PCGS or NGC will always fetch a higher price. If collectors are actively looking for it, prices go up. So, if you think you have one of these rare pennies, don't just spend it. Get it checked out by a professional. All right, so what did we learn today? First, a tiny, overlooked penny could be worth a life-changing amount of money. Second, always double-check your change, because you never know when you might have a hidden treasure. And third, if you do find a rare coin, don't run into a coin shop acting like you just won the lottery. Take it from someone who's been there. Now, if you love finding coins worth money and want more insider tips on collecting and spotting valuable errors, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, drop a like and tell me in the comments, have you ever found a rare coin in your pocket change? Or do you think you might have one of these million-dollar pennies? Thanks for watching, and remember, keep checking your change. Your next trip to the grocery store might just make you a millionaire. All right, folks, imagine this. You're digging through some loose change, looking for a quarter for the vending machine, and you stumble upon a 1979 D penny. No big deal, right? Just 1 cent. You toss it aside without a second thought. But what if I told you that one lucky person did the same thing, only to later discover that their little copper penny was worth a whopping $1.70 million? Yeah, you heard that right. A single 1979 D Lincoln penny, the same one you've probably held in your hands dozens of times, sold for more than most people's houses. And today, I'm going to tell you exactly why this happened, what makes some of these pennies crazy valuable, and most importantly, how you can check your own pocket change for a possible jackpot. But before we get into that, let me tell you a quick story that proves why you should always check your coins. So, a few years ago, I was at a flea market, one of those places where you can find anything from antique furniture to a guy selling homemade jerky out of his truck. I came across this old coffee can full of pennies. The vendor, a sweet old man with a beard that could rival Santa's, was selling the whole can for $5. Now, I hesitated for a second, but in the end, I walked away. $5 for a bunch of pennies? Nah. Fast forward a year later, I learned about rare 1979 D pennies, and I had a sinking realization. That coffee can could have been filled with hidden treasures. I mean, what if one of those pennies was the million-dollar one? I still lose sleep over that decision. So, let me save you the regret and teach you exactly why that 1979 D Lincoln penny sold for so much and how you can spot a valuable one. Alright, let's break it down. The 1979 D penny was minted in Denver, like millions of others. So what makes this one so special? It all comes down to errors and variations. The most valuable 1979 D penny that hit the jackpot was actually a mint error coin. And when I say error, I don't mean it forgot to pay its taxes. I'm talking about a major double die or striking mistake that makes collectors go wild. This means the date and lettering on the front of the coin are slightly doubled, a telltale sign of a rare mistake. If the design of Lincoln's face is shifted way off-center, that can increase value. Some 1979 D pennies were mistakenly struck on dime planchets, making them thinner and lighter. Those are big money finds. Coins with no scratches, no wear, and a glossy finish, like they just left the mint yesterday, are the ones that hit the big leagues. So, how do you know if your 1979 D penny is a winner? Simple. Grab a magnifying glass and a good light and look for. If things look blurry or like they were stamped twice, bingo. If the design is way off center, a normal penny weighs 3.11 grams. If yours is lighter, it could be an error coin struck on the wrong planchet. And if you think you've got a good one, take it to a professional coin grader. A simple $20 grading fee could turn your penny into life-changing money. Okay, so not every 1979 D penny is worth millions, but don't toss them just yet. Here's what you need to know. Regular 1979 D pennies in circulated condition, worth a single cent. Sorry, no retirement fund. They're mint state, shiny, uncirculated ones. Maybe $5 to $20. Rare errors, high grades, could be hundreds or even thousands. The key takeaway: always check your change. All right, my fellow treasure hunters, now you know why the 1979 D penny is making headlines and how you can spot one. But before you run off to dig through your piggy bank, let me hit you with one final thought. How many rare coins have already slipped through your fingers? If you don't want to miss out on future big money finds, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'll keep bringing you the latest coins worth money, collector strategies, and stories that'll make you think twice before spending your spare change. Now go check those pennies, and who knows? You just might be sitting on a fortune.